Alright, so I had to replace the furnace. I don't know if I'll put the old furnace video up first or this one, but thought I'd show you the new furnace. Has a smaller out duct for venting than the old one, which I thought was interesting. Even though it's not a 95 plus, it had the smaller out duct. One of the things I had to do with the old furnace, or for the new furnace, is the water to the radiators and back from were parallel on the old one, and they're not on this furnace. They're slightly offset, so I had to redo all the pipes to the ceiling, and yeah, that was kind of interesting. Wasn't that bad though. I ended up just go ahead and replace the pipes themselves. Instead of using the gate valves that they had, I put on quarter turn ball valves, so I could just, and it's off. I haven't figured out how to run my power cable just yet, so I just ran it in the side from my switch that shuts the power off to the furnace. This one has a gauge down here on the side to show pressure and temperature of the boiler. It's been off for some time, so the temperature is down to 120. It won't kick in and warm the temperature up unless there's a call for heat. It will not kick on, but it's a pretty big size furnace. Got some condensation or something here, I hope. A little water there, maybe. So let me take the front cover off and show you the inside. Wow, that label just doesn't want to stick to this thing. The label was originally on the outside and it was peeling off when I got it, so I moved it to the inner door. Thought it would be a better place to put it in there. As you see, it has an inducer motor. The boiler is pretty well sealed off and insulated all around. If you could see, there's some insulation there and there, but I'm sure it's insulated all the way around the top. There's some up there, you could probably barely see it. And it has a controller board instead of a simple on-off switch, and a very elaborate controller. My old boiler was on, had a temperature thing to control when the water temperature up to 180 or higher, whatever you wanted to set it. This one has all those same features plus a little more. I could set this to when the circulator starts to kick in, it can either start the boiler immediately, or if the water temperature is high enough, it'll run on the current temperature until it falls to the preset temperature, or 2 minutes pass, which is kind of neat. So if the temperature of the water is, say, 150 degrees, 2 minutes will go by before it kicks the burners on, which are right down here. They're little guys. So it's kind of interesting. There's no standing pilot, although it does have a pilot. It's intermittent. It kicks the pilot on before it ignites before it opens the valve, which is kind of neat. So it ignites the pilot and then opens the gas valve, and then that lights all the burners. So pretty neat configuration. 7 small burners. The old furnace I had those big cast iron things, which I still have. I may do another video for that one and post that as well. Well, I guess the only thing to do now is to kick it on for you guys, which I can do without the thermostat by doing this. And that kick the thing in to boil, not to circulate the water, but to kick it in at least. So, first it starts the inducer motor, and the operational codes on the board, which there's a list back here, will go through checks. First it vents the creates a draft, venting, but it also checks pressure. If there isn't adequate pressure, it'll go into a fault, and it starts the pilot. Now the pilot's lit. Then it starts the burners. Camera up there just for a few seconds. I could feel all that heat. So it's pretty efficient. I kicked it on at 126 degrees. It will kick off at 180 unless I remove this jumper that I created to kick it on. And it only takes, I think, about, when I did baselines on it, I think it takes about 5 minutes to get it to, not even 5 minutes, about 4 minutes and 20 seconds to get to 180 degrees if the zones are not on. So I'll go ahead and let it run for a moment. Ain't gonna really see, it's already up to 136 degrees, 37. It's pretty quick. If it's only heating the boiler, if the circulating pump was on, it would take a little longer. This here is only kicks on. It's for an auxiliary heating of some kind, which I'm not going to hook up. So, oop, lost connections. It's not jammed in there it's not very tight. I'll have to start all over here. Well, not all the way over, but the temperature is still rising even though the flame went out. Sure makes a pretty good vibrating sound. I don't know if it's coming out on the video. It's not as predominant as it was when I first installed it, but it sure got a vibration kind of sound to it, like an engine. It's already at about 180 now, so it'll just kick off anyway. Yep. So, yeah, I'm going to keep this down here. I'll put the cover back on. Goes on pretty smooth, hopefully. You know, it's brand new. Does have a little minor defect right there. But yeah, pretty nice controller. 82.8% energy efficiency rating. I don't really buy too much into getting all them 90% efficient furnaces, because I had somebody tell me that they bought one and their gas bill went up, so I'm like, yeah, well, I'm not buying one of those. So you do your research and find out what kind of furnace you need. Like if you watched, if I put the old furnace video up first, it's 150,000 BTUs. This is 128. Where is it at? Input pressure. Nope. There it is. 128. No, that's not clear at all. Well, kinda. 128, but that's enough for me. Same, you know, same deal when I replaced the old hot water heater. I went ahead and got one that was efficient enough. Looked for the BTU rating, in and out, whatnot. But on this one, you know, obviously you look for the in and out rating.